Hey, everybody. We're live. Welcome to the Real Black Talking Black podcast. Charles Woods will be with us shortly. Waiting for the room to fill up. So, how's everybody doing? Can I get a what? Good evening. Empress. I don't know how do I say your name? Empress Erica. Okay. Welcome. We got about 10 people in. We're going to start in a few minutes. We have a little technical issue with Charles's webcam. But as we get started, we want to do some housekeeping and some street smarts first. But we'll just jump in. Because we want to stay on topic, Michael K. Williams passed away on the 6th, 2 nights ago. I can see myself. I don't want to do that. But try to get the technical stuff together. I'll read from his obituary. Michael K. Williams, Omar from The Wire, dead at 54. Mr. Williams also starred in Boardwalk Empire, Lovecraft County, and was best known for his role as Omar Little in the David Simon HBO series The Wire. Michael K. Williams, the actor, this is from the New York Times, everybody. Michael K. Williams, the actor who brought a hard-edged charisma to his portrayal of Omar Little, the sawed-off shotgun-wielding stick-up man on the pioneering HBO series The Wire, was found dead on Monday in his home in the Williamsburg section of Brooklyn. He was 54. Mr. Williams was found around 2 p.m. according to the New York City Police Department. The death is being investigated as a possible drug overdose. The police said the city's medical examiner was to determine the cause. Omar Little on The Wire, David Simon's 5-season epic on HBO that explored the gritty underworld of corruption, drugs, and police in Baltimore. Mr. Williams played perhaps the most memorable character in the series many consider among the best shows in television history. Wow, we're getting some comments already. Let's bring some comments up as we're waiting for Charles Woods. A very intelligent brother. We lost a good one. Yes, indeed. And we're taking comments, video comments as well. Charles Woods will be with us for the hour. And the link to the StreamYard link, if you want to join us, it's very warm in here today, is right there. So if you want to come on board and share your thoughts, your memories about Michael K. Williams, if you knew him personally. I personally never had a chance to meet him. I was at the Black Star Film Festival the year he was there, but we did not do an interview with him. He's one of the few people that I have not met, to be quite honest, especially for somebody who is as prolific an artist. I mean, he has over 110 credits on IMDb, not counting things of his own, like playing himself, TV appearances, documentaries, so on and so forth, different interviews and stuff. Yeah, Lackawanna Blues, yes, a talent. We want to use this time to reminisce, to share our thoughts, to recognize the loss, and for those out there who are struggling with addiction, to address that, that nothing's promised. Each day is a blessing, and this man was a gift. Let's take a look at this in memoriam piece, and as we reset.
Y'all need to open this door, man, for a huff and puff. Come on now, about to hear your chinny chin chin.
I don't know those boys, and I don't know what they're saying, but I know my son. Ain't no way he did this. No way.
We going now, right now. But sing one song, honey.
You got a head just like mine, always balling over, turning things around. But that's music.
Ah, they're watching you. Waiting to see who you are, Pioneer. The way I see it, one man got as much right to eat as another.
What kind of time can you get here?
Told you I had to mull it over, now let me mull.
Pegleg Taylor's last stand on Standpipe Hill. Oh, that was something.
Unmute Mike D. So if anybody wants to join us live, we can talk about some other things that are going on with the channel. But let's go through some of these comments. Yeah. I'm wondering where you guys were when you found out. I mean, what's very interesting, I've never even saw this with Chadwick, was the number of Instagram posts that hit instantly. And so many of my friends who knew the man personally. So Karen, do you want to take over the stream? Pick the next one. You know, like I said, I never had a chance to meet him. I'm not a big HBO. I don't have HBO, so I'm late to The Wire. I'm late to Lovecraft Country. You know, but I wanted to send this man his flowers today. My favorite performance is of him in They Die by Dawn, which is being remade as a feature film for Netflix by James Samuel. He's great in that, but he's great in everything he did. So not sure why. I assume Charles will be on soon. Somebody join me in talking. I want to go over some housekeeping. One of the things that we wanted to talk about before we got into Michael was the changes to the channel. Like as you know, we crossed 1 million subscribers at the beginning of last month, and with that, it shifted the amount of attention that we get for the things that we post. And we caught a bunch of copyright strikes all at the same time. And we're still working on getting them to wear off. So we're being quite careful with the kind of content that we put up in terms of things that are in the public domain or that we can claim fair use. So as a result, you're going to see more content that is related to, you know, Amos and Andy, vintage films. You're going to see a lot more of those, and you're going to see a lot more like live streams and different podcasts, interviews with people that we love. So, Al, why don't you come share the story? Oh, he waved at the group and kept it moving. Not much of a story, but you got to see him in juniors in Brooklyn. That's so cool. Yeah, I don't want to make any judgments. I mean, drugs, he was very open about his drug use. And in retrospect, you could say it's inevitable when you play around with things like that. But it's just a sad day. It's just a sad day. So let me see if I can get Charles verbally on the line. I don't have the plug-in, do I? Let me just see what's going on. Pardon me? It's 9/11 coming up. We have a special thing on Sunday. Hey Charles, can you get on? You got me vamping.
Yeah.
Use the other one.
The old one?
Gonna have to.
Yeah, because I got trying to oh.
You're on the air, by the way.
Yeah, okay, but I'm listening to you with the old one. and trying to see what happens.
Okay, well, log on.
Okay, I'm on now, right?
I don't see it yet. Did you click it? Technology, folks. Technology. All right. Well, try your best.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, we want to start on time. He's got a buffering issue, so hopefully it won't be too bad once we bring him on to chat. But you guys are welcome to join us. The StreamYard link is right here in the chat. So if you click that link and you have your webcam, your phone, you can join us and share your thoughts, your memories. What are your favorite performances by Michael K. Williams? What are your favorite moments? Charles is coming on in a second. Let's see what happens. But you're welcome to join us. We can accommodate multiple callers. Okay. Charles, you ready? Just give a thumbs up. Okay.
Hear me?
I can see you. Yeah. Yeah, you're a little bit better. All right. So I'm gonna give you the floor right now. How are you feeling, sir? Where were you when you heard the news?
I was doing some research, and my computer gets a lot of stuff. And then I saw it said Michael K. Williams was found dead. Hold it just a sec. And I said, what? No, this not Michael K. Williams. So I checked up on it and then verified that it was Omar. And I went and told my wife. She said, yeah, she heard about it. But it was sad because what came to my mind was Howard Rollins. I met Howard Rollins. A friend of mine wrote a play that Howard Rollins was in. We went to rehearse, and there were some issues I won't go into, but that's who came to my mind when I heard that Williams died of drugs, possible drug. They said drug use.
Yeah, we might have to cut.
It saddened me because this, and when you know that, yeah, when they have to use drugs, a lot of times, you know, I heard you earlier, but so many of our artists in the business, you'd be surprised how many are in therapy because it's a tough business. And one thing about Michael, when you watch him in any role he portrays, he just that character, and he draws so much empathy from you as a viewer. He really nails the characters. And seeing him last in Lovecraft, there was some things he did in Lovecraft with his character that I'm quite sure he drew on his own experience to play that character, because there were some troubling issues with what he tried to hide, and then it finally came out about you know, who he was as a person. But it's sad. We lost Bozeman. Now we lose another great talent in Michael K. Williams. To his family, those who loved him, all my sympathies. But it's a tragic circumstance.
Yeah, without question. You're buffering again. We got to work on that. I'm going to put the PayPal link up. We got to get you a new computer. We got to get you a new computer. All right, so that Money Tonight's going.
The internet could be.
Well, we got to get you a cable then to plug you directly into your modem, because it's you're freezing and skipping there. Of course, as the minute you stop the eulogy, it starts, you unfreeze. But I was hoping to get some callers, but I mean, I was telling people they're mad at me because I'm not a Wire person, but I know you are, Charles. I mean, what are some of your favorite Omar moments? I mean, can you speak about the character of Omar?
Well, Omar, when he first came on, you know, he was a badass, and he had to go after with Bosdell, Avon Bosdell's character, as well as he just didn't like the competition that was in the street, and Omar was going to do about it, and he holds barred attitude, so he did it his way. And then what made him different as a character is, you know, that his um his love life, you know, that was a shock for everyone because, you know, it was just someone he was bad. And I think uh when he came on as Omar, The Wire already was recognized as one of the greatest shows ever to be put on television. And all you have to do is look at how many people appeared in The Wire, how many actors appeared in The Wire that have gone off to do other things. I mean, if you look at The Wire today, if you haven't watched it, you wouldn't even recognize Michael B. Jordan. I mean, he was such a young guy in that. Or if you see what happened with Idris Elba, with how his career just took. And then a lot of times, what was surprising about the actors, a lot of the actors who appeared in The Wire, was that they weren't using their natural voices. You know, that was a shocker. But I mean, I think you spoke to Andre Rojo. He was great, and it just was so much talent in The Wire.
Sorry, guys, I was muted. There's music happening behind me. Yeah, Charles, you're
Oh,
back.
yeah, I thought I lost your vocal, your audio.
Yeah, I was muted because there was some music happening outside. I didn't want that to come through the mic while you were talking. But
Okay.
you seem to be less buffered now. So what other is Omar on the Wire your favorite Michael K. Williams performance, or can you point to another one or two?
Yeah, The Wire. I didn't get to see some of the other things he did. Caught him in Bessie.
Mhm.
But Lovecraft, like I mentioned before, Lovecraft, that show, why it didn't get renewed, puzzles me. I have my suspicions, but that was a great show, and his
Yeah.
character was great in that. But I think personally, I think Lovecraft Country just in a metaphorical way touched on the horror blacks face in this society. You know, to put it in a horror setting, it just, you know, deals with the racism we're faced with, um, and that's horror. to live in this society, facing the racism and all of the things that go on. Someone should pick that up, Lovecraft Country.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Well, he plays the father on it, so it's gonna be a little difficult to replace him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nominated. He's nominated for an Emmy this year for his performance there. And Chalky White on Boardwalk Empire. He's a quintessential villain. I mean, there's something to be said about that scar, which happened when he was 25. On his 25th birthday, he got into a bar fight, and a razor cut right across his forehead and across his neck, and he almost died, but it actually signaled the rebirth of his career.
Yeah, and also the scar gave more validity to the characters he played. You know, the legitimacy. You know, and someone who stayed in Brooklyn. You know, Brooklyn's my old stomping grounds. He's from Flatbush, but you know, me born and bred in New York. It's a tough place, and I'm quite sure he did well as an actor. I mean, with all the work he's done, over 100 films, he's probably made a good penny. But who knows what happened to that money if he was dealing with drugs? But he could have moved away from Brooklyn, but he didn't. He stayed there.
Right. Well, if you saw the photo, it was a nice apartment building. It was, doorman, all that stuff. He wasn't living in squalor. He just.
Well,
I mean, Brooklyn's on the come up.
I hope no one thinks I was making the inference that
Brooklyn
has anything to do with squalor or anything. It's just that a lot of times when these guys make money, they go Hollywood.
Well, he tells a story. There's an interview with him on YouTube. I forget what I'll find the link. But he was saying it's like an hour interview where he's at a diner, and it's linked to in Variety or the Hollywood Reporter. But he was saying when he first got money, he spent it all trying to live a lifestyle in Baltimore. He got a big apartment in Baltimore, and he was doing drugs all the time and stuff like that. So he went through that first, like, wow, I've never had this much money before in my life. It's going to continue. I made it kind of thing. After years of working his way up and bit parts, he said he was on every TV show that shot in New York, all the Law and Orders, all the, NYPD, Blue, all that stuff. He'd done guest appearances on The Sopranos. And he started out, I don't know if you are aware of this, he started out as a music video dancer. Like he did Madonna music video and George Michael music videos. And he choreographed Crystal Waters' 100% Pure Love music video. So when he was really young, he was known as the bald guy with the scar dancer. And what's interesting about his career is Tupac discovered him.
Well, he did a film with Tupac.
Yes.
Are you aware of that?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Tupac saw his picture in a production office and said, that guy could play my brother. And just from on site, he got the job in the movie Bullet. And playing Tupac's brother.
Right.
And that was the beginning. But it wasn't until after he was broke and was living back at home, and he basically left show business for almost 2 years to run his mother's daycare center, that he got the call for The Sopranos. The casting director, I'm sorry, not The Sopranos, for The Wire. The casting director for The Wire remembered him and asked to have him back, or tracked him down and asked for him to audition. He auditioned once and got the part of Omar. So, very, very, very gifted, and stage actor as well. So, he really put a lot onto the screen.
Yeah. He commanded your attention, and the fact you just believed in the characters he portrayed. He was so believable. He was a brilliant actor, and it's tragic.
Yeah. Well, no one's jumping in. Do you want to move over to Street Smarts?
Yeah.
Well, let
I,
me close it up then. Rest in peace, Michael K. Williams. These are our real black flowers for you. And I hope it's if anything, one, it'll make people more aware of the problems inherent with drug addiction, and if you have a problem, maybe seek help because you don't want to be a casualty. And also, this is an opportunity for us to reevaluate his career and look back at his work. And he left us a lot of great work. He's very prolific. My favorite piece that he did was the Vice piece, Raised in the System, which is on YouTube. He spent a lot of his time. He was somebody who caught a lot of Grand Theft Auto charges and things when he was younger. And once he got celebrity, he did a lot of documentaries for Vice, showing about the underworld. But the one, Raised in the System, about the juvenile justice system, is the thing that I think that people should check out this week as they go through their Michael K. Williams stuff. I'll type that in.
Yeah, and in closing, you have a lot of rappers who sing about the drugs, the crime, and all that kind of stuff, and many of them, they're not legit, But the thing is with Michael, he played parts, and he had a background where he knew of the parts he played, and that's what made him more of a believable character. So, in closing, once again, we will miss you, Michael Kenneth Williams.
Rest in peace. Rest in power, Michael K. All right. So, Street Smarts. We haven't done one of those in a while. Now, for those who are new to the show, Charles is an educator as well as a film historian and raconteur and bad pun teller. We haven't gotten a pun yet, but I'm sure one's coming. But one of the things that we did pre-pandemic was go out on the streets with Charles and have him teach kids different things, but we're not able to do it because of the pandemic, to be on the street. But I know you have some lessons today that you'd like to share.
Well, to those who say, what's Street Smarts got to do with Real Black? My first love is educating children. Children want to learn. The sad part about it, Mike, and to the Real Black family, is that too many of our children, they're placed in the environment with people who don't believe in them, don't believe they can learn, that they want to learn. And far too often, they're placed in the environment with people who can't teach them, don't know how to teach them. I found that when I worked with the children, in order to make education possible, you had to make it fun. Kids love tricks. We used to do the thing with nines, to show the power of nines.
Okay.
For example, you have a calculator?
In my phone, yeah. I think most people do. Let's join along. You're freezing and locking. We'll see if we can make this work. Okay, calculator.
Okay.
Let me get back on screen. Okay, calculator. Okay. Got it.
So what I used to do is come into a classroom, and what I would do is I would tell each kid, maybe 10 kids, what I want you to do is you give me any two numbers. So let's say 10 kids, each one gives me two numbers. I said I'm going to
Okay.
multiply them by 99.
Okay.
And what I would do is I would have the answers to the 10 numbers, different numbers, before the whole class would come up with the answers. Now, for example, 99, you give me two numbers.
All right. So
A
Nichelle
two-digit
gave
number.
us 12 and 34.
12 and 34. So with the 12, the answer would be 1188.
Let's leave that up for a second. 12. What's the math here?
Well,
Times
12 I would
99?
say is 1188.
Okay, wait, but what am I doing here? I'm trying to. What am I
99
doing?
times 12.
99 times 12. 1188. Yes.
Okay, 99 times 34 would be 3366.
Okay, very good. Now, how did you do that though?
I can't expose my tricks. It wouldn't be a trick anymore.
All right, you got my attention then. All right. So,
Okay. So here's something. The kids now, they can't go to school.
well, you got another one. Hang on. Spider-Man 7285 says 69 and 93.
No,
67.
That looks like
67.
67. So
And
67 would be 6633.
Well, I see a pattern here, but anyway, 67 times 99. 6633.
6633. And the 93 would be 9206.
Not quite.
No, 7. 9207.
Okay, you came close. You came close.
Hold your 9207 up. Okay. Here's instruction. You see the 9207?
Yeah.
Add those digits up, and you're going to come up with the number 9.
9 plus 2 plus 7. Yes. 9.
Yeah.
Well, 9 twice. 9 and 9. 18.
And 1 and 8?
1 and 8 is 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what happens is anytime you multiply a number by 9, you know it's correct if the digits add up to 9. So like 9 times 6. 9 times 6, you take 1 from 6, what you get?
9 times 6.
No, you take 1. Yeah, you take 9 times 6, but what you do is take 1 from the number 6. What you get?
5.
Yeah, so 5, and what makes 9?
4.
So 9 times 6 is 54. And when you
Okay.
add up 5 and 4, you get 9.
Okay. TaylorMade is saying everything by 100 minus the difference. Is that a way to get to it?
That's my man TaylorMade. Yeah,
Indeed.
but TaylorMade is deep. We know that. But the thing is, the whole thing, the trick with 9 is that anytime you multiply something by 9, the digits, if you did it correctly, the digits will add up to 9. Now, using numerology, I'm going to show you numerology. One of my favorite things is numerology and the presidents of the United States.
Okay.
Okay. Here's where when I deal with the children, I like to teach them language.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we had a president by the name of Donald Trump.
Okay. Donald Trump.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, he was a winner and became president. Watch this. A synonym for winner or to win is the word
Then relax. We triumph. Okay.
triumph, right?
Mm-hmm.
Triumph
Oh,
means
let
to
me get
win.
this. Mm-hmm.
Now, take two letters from the word triumph to give you the word Trump.
T and R.
No,
T,
you
R, and P.
remove two letters from
Oh,
triumph.
remove two letters. Okay, removing two letters, I and H.
I and H.
Yes.
Right?
Okay. H and I. Okay. Hi.
I and H and I the same thing.
Gotcha.
In math, if we call it a commutation, I just commutated the IH and I made it HI. I did it for a reason.
Okay.
Because the H stands for he, he's, and the I stands for inaugurated.
Okay.
When was he inaugurated as president of the United States?
2009.
Nope. H and I, H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. Therefore, I is which letter of the alphabet?
The 9th.
9 and 8?
17.
2017.
Oh, his new Trump inaugurated the second inauguration. Oh no, I'm thinking of you're right. I'm thinking of Obama, 2009.
Okay. Let's do Obama. His initials are.
Thank goodness, Michelle, we didn't have Trump since 2008.
What's
Okay.
Obama's initials?
B-O. We're doing Barack Obama. Let me type that in so people can follow us. Okay.
Now, here's where I use language again with the kids. I ask them, what's Obama's initials? They say B-O. Then I tell them, write his initials in lowercase.
Okay. 6-0.
That's a B-O.
That's a B-O, yeah.
When did he become president? Turn the B-O upside down.
Oh, the other B-O. 09. Okay.
Now, you want to do the same thing with Trump? Lowercase numbers. What's Donald Trump's initials?
D-T.
See it?
Yeah.
Turn it upside down. What you got?
TP.
TP. T is the 20th letter of the alphabet.
Okay.
And P, M is the 13th, N 14th, O 15th, and P is the 16th. 2016 is when Trump was elected president.
Okay. Do we get that one? Okay. That's street smarts. Ben
One
is
last
wondering.
thing.
Oh, you got one more?
Thing.
Okay.
Sometimes kids have problems with math. And it's because math is something they can't see. You have to be able to model math. You have to be able to show them. Somebody wrote a book. They said the problem with math is English. Sooner or later, they're going to get geometry and they're going to learn about polygons. Triangles are polygons.
Okay.
There are 6 ways to describe triangles, either by the angle, which I won't do right now because of time, but let's do by sides.
Okay. We're learning about triangles here.
You have the isosceles. You have the scalene. And then you have what's called the equilateral. Do you know the difference?
Between the three
Yeah.
triangles? The
Right.
3 different types of triangles?
Right.
Isosceles is like that, right? It's equal distance on all 3 sides.
Okay, what
Isosceles?
happens is this. Isosceles, you have 2 equal sides.
Okay.
So
2
what you
equal
do
sides.
is you tell the kids, you get creative. You see in the word isosceles,
Mm-hmm.
instead of writing it like that, what you do is you make one big S and another big S.
Okay.
See the SOS? The
Ah.
O is between the 2 S's. You make the
Okay.
big S's. That means 2 sides are equal.
Okay.
The next one is scalene. Scalene means none of the sides are equal.
Okay.
Look at the 2 letters at the end of scalene.
NE. None equal.
None
Okay.
equal.
Brilliant.
And then equilateral, or equi means equal. Lateral means side.
Okay.
Equilateral means all the sides are equal. Now, how do you emphasize that all the sides are equal? Well, you try to show them that equi is, you see that A? If you brought that A over there, you could make the word equal. You see what I'm saying?
The Latin root.
Yeah, see the I? If you put, instead of the I, you put the A, you would have equal. And then you see that L? If you put that L at the end, you would have at the end ALL, all.
Okay.
Equilateral
All
means
equal.
all 3 sides are equal.
Okay, now wait, here's a question from L. Brown. Acute, is that a type of triangle, and what exactly is that?
Okay, as I said, I was just going to deal with describing the triangles based on sides. Acute deals with describing triangles by the angles.
Okay.
Acute means it's smaller than 90 degrees.
Okay. So is there a way to remember that, or?
Yeah. because the emphasis is on smaller than 90 degrees. Smaller, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just think, and this is where, if kids can draw, see if they can draw. And if I'm carting a little baby in the carriage, in the baby carriage, I'm pushing my little baby in the carriage, right? People like to come up and see your baby. What do they usually say? Oh, what?
Cute little baby.
What? Oh, what a cute little baby you have. You get the connection? A cute little, smaller than 90 degrees. The other angle is you have what is called a right angle triangle. That's where you have 90 degrees. One of the angles is 90 degrees.
Yeah.
And then the other one is the
obtuse.
Obtuse. The obtuse. Obtuse, the way to remember that is it's like almost like obese. That's where it's bigger. It's the biggest angles, but you can't have more than 180 degrees in a triangle.
Mm-hmm.
You take the 90-degree angle, the opposite side is what they call a hypotenuse, but I didn't want to go this deep into it. But what I wanted to emphasize is that rather than teaching kids or anyone something straight, to use what is called ROTE, rote memory, get creative, try to think outside the box, make connections. And that's what I've learned to do. And that's what, when I'm watching film, when I'm observing, observation is the key. And try to remember that there are three basic ways you learn. You see, you hear, you touch. Find out what works for you best and employ those things, but to be creative.
Right.
Make connections. Make connections to what you don't know, to things you do know. That's what, and make what you do know is called schema. And you make these connections. And if you can draw, make drawings, a cute little baby. For example, just as an anecdotal thing of what I'm talking about, we had to learn about the 13 colonies, Mike, if you remember, in history.
Yes.
Okay, well, in order, the first state is called Delaware. That's the first state.
Mm-hmm.
The second state is a state you're very familiar with, and maybe even tailor-made if he's still there. What's the second state?
The second state in the Union? Do we have an
colonies.
Answer? Out of the 13 colonies, number 2. I'm just waiting to see if anybody types it in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna guess Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Check me out. But here's a way to remember. When you take a test and you got to fill in those things, they give you a pencil to fill in the blocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of pencil they tell you to use?
Number 2.
Number 2 pencil. Number 2 pencil. You see how easy it is?
Okay. I love it. Oh, what's this? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not smart enough, 5th grader. We need to reset the room. There are a few people that are coming in late. We finished our tribute to Michael K. Williams already. We're winding up the hour with some street smarts, and then we're going to talk about housekeeping. As I mentioned at the top of the show, when we crossed 1 million subscribers, we had to also make some changes in the nature of the things that we put up. We just can't recklessly put up old movies that belong to other people without repercussion. Right. So as a result, for the last, I'd say, 2 months or so, Charles, we've been mining the vaults of the, like, and showing Mantan Mondays, Amos and Andy's, and, older cartoons that are in the public domain. Now that's gotten, that's drawn in a new audience for us, but it's also created a sense of backlash. Like, wait, you're supposed to be real black. You're supposed to be empowering us, but you're showing us all these negative images, Rama of the jungle and things like that. So we just wanted to take some time to clarify what the intention of the channel is and how these choices are relating to the brand. So Charles, did you have any thoughts?
Well, the thing is, I was born in 48. When I grew up, television was the thing. When we did the film Savages, Servants, and Specialty Acts, what I wanted to reveal in this documentary we did, Mike, is how my growing up, I didn't realize that I was being colonized, brainwashed to see that anyone who looked like me, we were inferior. We were otherized. We were inferiorized. The media is about white supremacy. And so these images, yes, Amos and Andy employs a lot of the stereotypical humor that you would find in I Love Lucy, The Honeymooners, Sergeant Bilko. He was a character much like Kingfish. I loved Amos and Andy. I loved Rama of the Jungle. But I didn't know as a kid, not seeing all the Westerns I watched and not seeing any black Western heroes, I grew up thinking there were no black Western heroes. I grew up thinking that there were no doctors and lawyers, and that the only things blacks could do based on television watching was clean someone's house. And so showing these things, as I said to one of the viewers through written communication, it's not to promote this racism, but it's to use our platform as a way of documenting it, to show it empirically how this racism existed in the media, and then through discussion to show you how it was purposed, it was intentional, and what the whole modus operandi was. It's to otherize us, to inferiorize us, to subject us to injurious representation. What we get in the media is not the real black, R-E-A-L, but it's the real black, R-E-E-L, a representation of not who we are, but how people who run this system want us to be seen. Case in point, we put up Let's Go Collegiate with Mantan Marlon. He sings a song with his girlfriend. The lyrics are different than the same song that's being sung by a white couple. If you go back and listen to the lyrics, when the black couple is singing the song, one of the things Mantan says is, I would love a well-behaved pair of dice. That's a stereotype. There were opportunities they would take to mock blackness in that same film. Mantan Marlon's character is serving drinks. This white guy says, pour me one, midnight. That's mocking blackness. To the credit of the studio, although they allowed that in there, something Mantan did that was rarely done by a black character who was called out of his name. Mantan says to this white character, the name is Jeff. That showed some progress. Mantan, in working for Monogram Pictures, he grew to have a lot of progressive imagery in those films, although he was still a servant. He played in a servant role. One quick point. There's a thing called social etiquette. What I call racial difference invokes racial deference. If you notice, as old as Mantan is, whenever he played with Frankie Darro, the white boy, no matter how much younger Frankie Darro is, Mantan's character always had to refer to him as Mr. Frankie. Mr. Couldn't have it without that. That's that reverence. Boss, yes, a boss. Yes, a master. When Mantan did the Charlie Chan series, when Charlie Chan would have his number 1 son or number 2 son, here's a trick. Mantan called the Asian boys, he didn't use Mr.
Mm-hmm.
That says a lot. If we don't show this stuff, if people don't watch this stuff, that's their right. But you can't study something, you can't learn to judge something if you haven't seen enough of it to see where the people who produce this stuff, where they're coming from. Propaganda, in order to communicate a message, the way you get a message across is through repetition, over and over again. It creates a mindset. That's what the media does. That's what we're showing.
Well, here's a question from Spider-Man 7285. He's been with us the whole hour. If you're going to show these shows, could you add commentary or have a video critique for a sense of context? I think we generally respond to the comments, and we pin comments that are most related to the critique. That's how we've chosen to do it so far. But I mean, do you think we can do a better job, Charles, in terms of giving people historical context for these types of films, especially the cartoons? The Scrubby Mama, that has millions of views, and people take it for what it is. But it's interesting to have a discussion about this.
That's the whole purpose of the mini lessons. To give nuance and context, historical background, and to show you how these things were used. These stereotypes were employed in these films, and so that I'll give an example. There are a lot of people who are upset, and rightfully so, at a lot of this imagery, especially in these 30s and 40s and 20s movies. But if they don't study it, they can't see that the same thing is being projected in the films we get today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of the few people to tell you I have issues with Black Panther. I have issues with Do the Right Thing by Spike Lee. I get in fights all the time. I say, show me one positive black man in Do the Right Thing. Even there's a character who yells at the mayor, played by Ozzie Davis. And he says to him, that's why they call you the mayor. DA, the mayor, because DA stands for drunk ass. Ruby Dee's character, along with Spike Lee's sister, who are they talking about? They're talking about the mayor, how he's just like so many other black men, a waste. The guy playing his music loud, he gets killed. That whole scene where he's killed by the police, does it relate to real life incidents? Yes. But it serves another purpose from my perspective. It's a deflection to take you away from the defection of so many of the characters in the movie. You get caught up in what happened to what they call the character?
Radio Raheem.
Radio Raheem. You get so caught up in how that relates to realism, and everyone's caught up in that they forget Spike Lee's character. When the guy throws him the money, he picks it up. Bugging out started everything. They had one character, I won't use the word they used to use years ago, but he's slow with it. He's selling, do you want to buy the cards? This is their way. Once again, Spike Lee employs something that Mantan Moreland was known for. Humor, comedy. You can't get many films made today if they're not injecting comedy in these films. Your three biggest stars in Hollywood film come from three basic arenas: sport, comedy, and what's the other one?
Music.
Music. Okay? Look at your stars. Look at the movies that get made, what I call the BOATs, the BOATS, based on a true story. They're about musicians. Because from the time they were making films in the 20s, the early 1900s, they felt the one key ingredient you had to have in these movies, or one or two key ingredients in these movies for black people to go see them, you had to have comedy and music. Still to this day. Because what happens is the people who control the media, they manufacture what people think they like, want to like, get to like. It's all manufactured. It's all BS. Because what they're doing is they call it entertainment. But I say it's not entertainment the way you want to see it, the way you believe it is. It's apostrophe-tainment. It's entering you into a world of detainment, containment, where you're being controlled.
Well, now wait a second now, Charles.
Huh?
Hang on. Got to be devil's advocate here. This could be a loaded question, so bear with me. But hasn't it changed? Hasn't it in the last couple of years? We're seeing more content with Black people in it. We're seeing more filmmakers of color getting to tell our own stories. You know, how could this possibly persist if we're now in control? Or are we in control?
Mike, look at the word control.
Okay.
What we're getting is a control job. What you see, what you think you see, is not what you're getting. If the people are making these movies are Black, well, damn. You know, I told you I have a t-shirt I had made up. Who was the first Supreme Court justice, Black Supreme Court justice?
Thurgood.
Thurgood. Who was the second one? No good.
Good time.
black is a color. Not everyone that calls himself black, you can't. John Henry Clark says, black. What's that mean? Consciousness. They use the word today, woke. Woke. What's that mean? I'll tell you this, and I'll end it with this.
Okay.
What the black artists are allowed to do is inject some progressive, balanced imagery. What they're not allowed to do, if they want to continue in the business, since they're taking somebody's money, he who controls the goal controls the tune, controls the message.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the golden rule. He who has the goal makes the rule.
The golden rule. If you're taking somebody's money, you're going to play by their rules. You study these films. These films do not attack the system. They do not question the system. They endorse it.
So let's bring it full circle then. Michael K. Williams, his array of characters that he portrayed seemed to give voice to a certain type of black character or person, represented the pain of black people, the characters that you normally wouldn't see. I mean, how does his body of work, in your estimation, relate to this concept that you're saying? I mean, was he challenging the system? Was he shedding light to characters that we ordinarily wouldn't see? And again, like we were saying before, he uses celebrity to raise awareness about the injustices. So what are your thoughts there? I mean, maybe it wasn't as groundbreaking as doing Toussaint Louverture or something like that, but at the end of the day, what does his body of work stand for in your estimation, Michael K. Williams?
Well, I think you just hit the nail on the head. What are the kind of characters Michael Kenneth Williams is played? Did he play Toussaint Louverture?
No.
Okay. Did we get Toussaint Louverture?
No.
The closest we got to Toussaint Louverture in the film, 1952, Lydia Bailey.
Right.
And that part was so watered down that the hero of the film was played by Dale Robinson. You had even William Marshall. He said, I didn't even like the character's name they gave me, King Dick, which was based on a stereotype of black sexuality. And if they're going to have a revolution, it's not here in America. It's not a revolution against the atrocities, the indignities blacks have to face here. They give you what is called historical distance. They show you these revolutions happening in the Caribbean and Africa. They're not going to touch here.
Well,
LeBron James.
Lovecraft.
Is Lovecraft being renewed?
Touche.
If LeBron James says something they don't like, what's the response? Shut the hell up and just dribble. Michael Jordan didn't want to go see George Bush. Next thing you know, Michael Jordan is having all kinds of problems. Issues with gambling came up. his father's death, what they do is the same thing they did to Kaepernick.
Mm-hmm.
You play the game or you out of it. Denzel Washington, who I love, he's not going to bite the hand that feeds him. When he goes on the tours, he'll take offense if someone says, well, what about this? What about that? He'll say, well, black folks need to get their act together. I think there's not enough black fathers in the home.
Mm-hmm.
And if he makes a decent film, like The Great Debaters, I like what he did with The Equalizer. And they had issues with that.
Mm-hmm.
But The Great Debaters, how many people went to see that? And he spoke about Willie Lynch in that film. But that they'll give him that what they call these vanity films. But the thing is, how come these films don't get critical acclaim? How come that film, Great Debaters, didn't get the critical acclaim like the one he got when he got the Oscar? How many people talked about that?
Right.
Malcolm X. Malcolm X was a joke. That was a joke.
I love Malcolm X. The Malcolm X movie by Spike Lee is great.
If you look at the coded Tricknology, what was being sold is not the Malcolm X who was the firebrand. Malcolm X was worthy, as I said before, of a biographical film because he was no longer saying anything negative against white people.
Mm-hmm.
And hear me clearly, the issue is not with all white people. The issue is with the people who run this country. One of the things in Willie Lynch that very few people talk about, they talk about Willie Lynch said to make a slave, to control a slave, to keep a slave, you have to exacerbate the differences. You have to have the light against the dark, the old against the young. You have to make the plantation that these blacks are slaves on. You have to have that sense of my plantation is better than the plantation you work on. You have to have male against female. But there's a key in there that very few people talk about. That's language. And he spoke about make sure your slaves don't learn your language. And as I told you in a private conversation, my feeling is that language and the fact that we don't speak the same language, we don't define our terms before we get into a debate, which because we didn't define our terms, we don't get into a debate, we get into a heated argument. That comes from the Bible. The Bible, the Tower of Babel, because everyone spoke the same language, they were of the same mind. They could gather together and do things together. The gods, it tells you about that in the first book, the Genesis, tells you because they spoke the same language, they had a power. They were united. And that being united caused them to have power. There was only one way to dissipate that power. And the way the gods chose to kill that power was to confuse the language. These are the things that you see when you look. when you learn how to see what you're looking at. You know, when they teach kids how to read, you see a lot of parents, my little Johnny can read. Well, being able to pronounce words that you've learned how to pronounce phonetically, that's not reading. That's only a part of reading. You sound the words out, but you got to know the meaning of the words. Kids don't even learn the 8 parts of speech. They don't even know what that means anymore. To learn the language, to get that education, that's what's missing. That's why I love to get these kids young, not to tell them what to think, but to teach them how to think.
Now, question before we, thank you for that. That was great. So before we wind it up, just we've spoken on this before, but just for Donnie's sake, what was wrong with Black Panther in your estimation? I mean, for those who haven't seen Savage's Servants and Special Acts, what was wrong with Black Panther's question? And if anybody has any other questions for Charles, now's the time to either join the conversation on StreamYard or just type in your question now, because we're going to be winding it up.
Well, first of all, if I speak out and say I found issues with Black Panther, a lot of people are going to take issue with me because they think I'm attacking them for liking Black Panther. I liked Black Panther. When I first saw it, the thing that blew my mind was the look of the women, the Black women, and how in their Blackness, they were beautiful. But what happened is you had this idealistic African nation. We had this community togetherness that was by Killmonger's character. He said, we're going to do things differently. Next thing you know, you had Black men fighting Black women. At the end, the thing that made the country unique, they want to give that away. And they want to work in alliance with the CIA. The CIA and FBI have been toppling countries in South America, Africa for years. And then you're going to have a picture that endorses these people?
And yeah, also after the credits, you had the white man coming out of the Black woman's tent. She that bothered a lot of people, that image.
Okay, here's the other thing. You don't give away your power. They gave away their power. We rejected Louise Beaver's character in 1934 when she gave away her recipe to the white woman. And with all the riches that accrued from her pancake recipe, she didn't want any of the money. She just wanted to take care of the white family. So in 1934, you upset. Black Panther is what? 2009?
Something like that, yeah.
17, right?
Later, yeah.
2017? Around, not too long ago.
Right. And same story.
Huh?
Same song.
Same old song. But no one see. It's deflection to take you away from seeing the defection. It's prestidigitation, the old magic trick. Sleight of hand. Make you think you're getting something when you're not. As I told you before, the media is propaganda. All art is propaganda. It's been weaponized. And art, as someone said, of all the arts, the most important is the motion pictures. Well, just look, when you talk about weapons, one of the things you need when you have weapons is artillery. First 3 letters in artillery is A-R-T.
Deep. Okay. Well, oh wait, you have GJ on the line, but he's not showing his face. Do you want to take the call, Charles?
Yeah.
All right, let's see what happens. Hey, GJ. Hey, GJ, can you hear us? Okay. Tried. What can I say?
Is
Charles,
there a way he could type in what he wanted to say?
well, we'll give it a minute. Any questions? Oh, did you see Drop Squad? It's been a minute. I haven't watched it yet. I had the DVD the last live stream. I said I was going to watch it. I haven't watched it yet. But it's Drop Squad is great as far as the idea. Do you remember that one, Charles?
It's been a while, but
put a drop on all the non-woke people.
Yeah,
I believe the director's cut is on YouTube still. The director was
but the whole thing is that's you know that it's
the student film it was based on, rather.
Yeah, let me tell you, I'm not dismissing all films. As I say, you know, they'll give us something. Blaxploitation, as I said before, blaxploitation, you know, they want to throw it all out. They want to throw Amos Andy all out. I was the only one years ago debated why I liked Amos and Andy. And when we look at the response to Amos and Andy, you know, a lot of people say, oh, why they say this was racist?
Mm-hmm.
Everything, you have to contextualize it. We need humor in our lives. Mantan Moreland, I showed you something the other day. I said, man, we need some of this. Mantan Moreland was a master of timing, comedic timing. If you study humor, Abbott and Costello's, I believe it was a white viewer, addressed how he felt that there was nothing different. There is a difference. The difference is this. When they show us in films doing our thing, that's the only thing they showed us do. If you saw I Love Lucy, you didn't come to the conclusion that all white folks were like I Love Lucy or the Honeymooners. We never had what was called the balance. It was always one same old look at us. That repetition I spoke about earlier. Same thing over and over again. The dice, the shooting the dice, the eating the chicken, the eating the watermelon. And I'm going to show all of that. Not to promote it. But if you want to fly, the Wright brothers, I'm quite sure they had to study birds. You study things that can fly. If you want to know about stereotypes, if you want to know about negative propaganda, what was as far as negative black stereotypes, what negrophobia, if you want to know what it is, you have to see how it was used. People loved the Our Gang series, but that thing was replete with negative black stereotypes. We'll show one clip. I call one of the black characters in one of the episodes of Our Gang a walking black stereotype. We'll put that up soon. Rather than dismiss this stuff and come out and angrily say, why are they showing this? Why are they showing? Take a look at it. And then we get the time when we do the mini lessons, support it. Take a gander. We keep asking for your question because I'll tell you one thing I've said often, over and over again. I love hearing from the voices of the viewers because I've learned so much from the smart viewers we have. It's not just what's in here, because what's in here had to go through this or this first. When you look at the word learn, spell learn, Mike.
Learn.
Learn.
Yes.
What's that thing in the word learn?
Ear.
ear. Listen, pay attention.
We have a question here, and then I want to show you some recent acquisitions here. This is just a random. Do you recall a BO in a movie early 70s playing a pilot? Do you recall BO? I'm not sure what BO stands for. Michelle, I don't know if you're still there. What's BO mean? He's still there, but would you recall BO in a movie early 70s playing a pilot?
Well, BO is that the initials from
You know,
for
waiting for Nichelle to say something. Barack Obama. He's in a movie? That's random. In the early 70s, he would have been a teen or a young kid, not even 12. Early 70s, he might be 10 or 15 years old in the early 70s, Barack Obama. So I'm not sure if he'd be flying a plane. Let me share some recent acquisitions. We talk about this all the time. I've shown this before. This Marlon Riggs box set. Did you get this one yet, Charles?
Yeah, I ordered that because I love his documentaries.
Yeah, he's got one called Color Adjustment, which is about blacks in television, which is exceptional, and then one called Ethnic Notions,
Yes,
which deals with
what we've talked about.
what we're talking about today. So that's why I pulled it out. So double disc set from Criterion, and also from Criterion. They're putting a lot of stuff out. Loving Basketball is getting a Criterion reissue. And at the end of October, they're doing a Melvin Van Peebles box set. But out right now is Deep Cover, Bill Duke movie. And I think this is the first time on Blu-ray.
Bill Duke, by the way, he loved doing gangsters.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a classic, Undercover Cop, Snoop Dogg song. 187 on the Undercover Cop. And it's does it have reversible art? It does not. Shame on you, Criterion. You just have one artwork on that. And then we're gonna have Aaron Fuchs on soon, but we'll give him a plug. I haven't listened to this yet. Tough City Records, our friends at Tough City sent this over. It's the 33rd anniversary box set of Tough City Records. It's got the first half of their 80s hits, 1982, 86 classic stuff on vinyl. You can also listen to these recordings on Spotify and Amazon Music. And the thing, I'm a big Richard Pryor fan. You know that, right, Charles?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd do anything Richard Pryor, even if I already have it. It gets exciting for me. So this is the third reissue of Richard Pryor's concert films, and it comes from Time Life. It's 12 disc set, I think, something like that. And this is the bonus. That's a bonus disc. This is available by itself for like $12 or someplace $15. But it's 6 DVDs. I'm trying to frame this up. So each one of these is 6 DVDs. One set has all of his concert films and all of the episodes of the Richard Pryor Show, including the pilot, the Richard Pryor special on here, as well as a documentary about the making of Uncle Tom's Fairy Tales, which is a lost film. It's a film. I didn't know this until I saw the documentary. Apparently, he spent 2 years making a film with some UCLA film students, including Penelope Spheris, who went on to do like big movies like Wayne's World in the later in the 80s, 90s, or whatever. so they talked to Penelope Spheres about the making of this film, Uncle Tom's Fairy Tales, and it came from a very angry place. They spent 2 years making it. She showed it to him once on a movieola, and then he destroyed the film. So what they have now are outtakes they found in a storage area, the footage that wasn't used, and she basically recreates the movie for you, tells you what the story was about. The second disc has all of his a lot of his Johnny Carson appearances, Dick Cavett show appearance, which is on YouTube, and the documentary Omit the Logic, which was available, and the movie JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling. But the one thing I'm still trying to find, if anybody has it, is the making of JoJo Dancer. It's a documentary that Roy Campanella Jr. did, and that's sort of a holy grail for me personally. But and it comes with a booklet, which left and right. Comes with a booklet. It's a nice set. It's not inexpensive. Oh, and it has stand-up routines from when he, and tributes from after he caught MS. So if you're a Richard Pryor fan like me, I highly recommend it, even though there's a lot of duplicate stuff on there. Bustin' Loose. Somebody answered that for you. Yeah, JoJo Dancer, all that stuff.
Bustin' Loose.
Yeah. Yeah, Tiffany answered that one.
Yeah. What's the name? Was one of the producers of that? The black documentarian.
Oh, William Greaves.
William Greaves.
Yeah, he's got a Criterion thing. So,
and you had two different directors on that.
Yeah, Melvin Van Peebles got kicked off it, and I should have asked him why when I had the chance. But we can always talk to Michael Schultz to find out what that was about. But Michael Schultz took over on Bustin' Loose for Melvin Van Peebles.
One of
oh, and I'm sorry, wait, I got that mixed up. No. Oz Scott. Yeah, Bustin' Loose. I'm sorry, I'm thinking Greased Lightning. Michael Schultz took over. I'm correcting myself. So Melvin Van Peebles was the original. I don't remember. Melvin Van Peebles, the original director, and Michael Schultz took over on Greased Lightning.
But I just want to add another thing on that film. One of the rare movie features in which Cicely Tyson was a romantic lead.
Yes. Yes. That was the late, great Cicely Tyson. 2021's proven to be a horrible year when it comes to celebrities passing on. I mean, so we lost so many people this year. But, Michael K.
I just want to add one other.
You froze. Just wait. When you come back, repeat. Okay. All right, you're back. You're back.
They wanted to stop me. They didn't want me to say it, but
they don't want you to say it. You're back.
It's the fact that if what I call the noble savage black, the exceptional black, the good, and I don't like this word, but the good nigga versus the bad nigga. Sidney Poitier did a film. His first major film was 1950, No Way Out.
Mm-hmm.
He's the doctor. They have a riot break out. The bad black guy in that is Lefty, played by Dots Johnson. Lefty say, hey, they want war, they're going to get a war. I got this scar from the last time they caused the riot. I lost my sister. She's in a wheelchair. They're going to get war. Sidney Poitier's going, no. Turn the other cheek. Who gets killed in that movie?
Lefty.
Lefty. Who is the black man they want us to be? To go along, to get along. You know, one of the things that was the criticism leveled against Sidney was that he was the co-opted black man. He was the ebony saint. But my point is this. We're not going to get images of film. Toussaint Louverture, okay. Nat Turner, okay. But modern day men and women who are rallying to fight this system, those stories, they don't get told. They don't have movies where people are exposing the system for what it is. How many black senators have we had in the history of the United States Senate? How come the same politicians keep getting elected?
Mm-hmm.
All of this is part of systemic racism about the system. It's not just holding blacks down. It's about holding classes of people down where people who have so much in common, black or white, they're fighting each other. It's the strategy, the oldest strategy in the world, Mike. Divide and conquer. That's what Willie Lynch was all about. The strategy of divide and conquer.
Right.
Keep these people at each other's throat. That's what Black Panther had. All the people who wanted to use that one thing that was unique to their country, to use it to empower them to change things, they were made to look like bad guys. The very first one to get killed was the uncle. If you remember in Black Panther.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
Well, it starts off with the death of the father, but that was in Captain America, right?
Well, even in the death of the father, when Black Panther went after the guy who killed him, once again, he's talking, he didn't get the revenge. You remember in Black Panther, the actor from Get Out, he was upset because Panther didn't do what Killmonger did. Killmonger brought back the head of the guy who killed his father.
Mm. So he's passive hero. Okay, well, thank you, Charles. I mean, we went a little over, but I think it was well worth it. I mean, so thank you for everybody who's tuned in. I feel like we held our audience pretty good tonight, even though we had a bumpy start.
My apologies for that.
No worries. I could have been better prepared. I just didn't have time to watch all 5 seasons of The Wire for the tribute. So it's all love. Next week we'll come back and we'll do a better job, right? So we'll have a new topic, and probably Wednesday night, 9:00, we'll be back.
And we got some things coming up. Some little
the mini lessons, yeah, some good stuff, and a good movie for Friday. So make sure you tune in. Got some good things coming up. Really appreciate your support, and thank you for hanging in there. Thanks for tuning in to the Talking Black podcast. Thank you, Cosmo Energy, for moderating, and Karen for technical directing. And we'll see you next week.
Peace and blessings, everyone.
Peace and blessings.